So, Fox, last night I had a very eventful technological evening.
Okay.
Our TV has like I think it's 1 gig of space on it or whatever.
Man, we live in the future.
I know, right? But our apps take up more than that, and so it's starting to run like chug really, really
My
slowly.
TV's just lagging.
It sucks. It's so obnoxious. I'm like, the TV part works. I get so mad about it. I really do. But then it hit me, right? Oh, no. So
your TV does that
and then
too?
it hit me.
That's amazing.
No, so I was like, oh, you know what? We can plug in a USB into the back of it.
Okay.
And so I plug in the USB. This is all just so my wife and I can watch Fallout. Like, this is literally just so we can watch Fallout. Yes.
Ironically, a technological post-apocalypse.
I know. So we plug in a USB to the back of the TV, get it formatted, get it all, working, only to find out that none of the apps that we have are available to offload onto a USB. Mm-hmm. They don't allow themselves to be. Yeah. Yep. And so it does literally nothing for us. And we're like, beans. But then that's when it hits me. Really hits me. This is when I really get the epiphany. My PlayStation 5 is plugged into it right here.
There.
I can just
watch it on there.
And so I turn on my PS5, boot loop.
Oh no.
Will not turn on.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh no.
Favorite cereal, by the way.
But boot loops, it's my least favorite cereal. Every time I have like a heart attack.
Like old leather.
No. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And Jackie's like, well, these things get old pretty fast sometimes. And I'm like, no. Right here, and on the like literally next to the PS5 is my PS3, and I'm like, we still use this. It works. Like,
yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
And so I'm like, what's going on here? And so I Google it, and they're like, okay, well, put it into safe mode. And so I get it into safe mode where you got to hold the power button, whatever. Boots up in safe mode, and it's like, okay, but you got to connect a controller, obviously. It won't connect to a controller. I plug it in directly via USB, and it will not connect to a controller.
Never heard of her.
Exactly. And I'm like, what the crap is happening? And so I Google that. PS5 in safe mode, won't connect to controller.
I really hope Fallout was good.
And we're restarting from season 1. So that was a good season. It's fun, so it'll probably be about the same. But anyway, so I see over and over again, this was happening to me. I had to unhook my external hard drive. I'm like, I don't have an external hard drive. I'm not using it
on the TV.
Wait. Does the PS5 care that the TV has a USB plugged into it?
The thing you originally put in to fix the problem was now causing the problem on your second solution?
I unplug. I pull the USB out, and the PS5's like, okay, cool. Oh, thank you. Here we go. Like, it was like there was this massive relief.
I couldn't breathe.
But
there's too much going on in here.
But hey, this is just a PSA for everyone out there. Your PS5,
the future's the worst.
It's the worst. Your PS5 via HDMI will sense if your TV has a USB plugged into it. It was so stupid. It's the dumbest reason to have a panic attack last night.
Yeah, that's not great. Well, cool. What a time to be alive.
Everybody, welcome back to Save and Continue, where theology and pop culture meets. I'm going to get used to that.
Yeah, we got a whole new spiel this.
Yeah, now that we are officially part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
Very excited about
that. We got fancy stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big thanks to them for helping us get all our stuff ready. You can
possibly see our faces if you're watching.
Yeah. Hey,
right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Which makes everything better.
I've had to deal with this for like 15 years now, guys.
Like so long. It's true. It really is
to
true.
see that face. Yeah, but we got theme music now.
We got
thanks to the
theme
music mechanic.
Yeah,
we got so much going on.
Oh, dang it. I'm going to re-record the outro because I forgot to thank the music mechanic for our outro.
Yeah, let's
so
redo
big thanks to the music mechanic for our outro too, and our intro, obviously.
With the music,
our music,
the
yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And to Matt for editing all this stuff.
So
to Radio
much going
Matt,
on.
my man.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we do all that at the end. I got a recording, so we don't need to actually do that at the end.
Yes. Today,
well,
let's get into it.
Yeah, today let's get into it because we want to talk about the new Rian Johnson, Benoit Blanc mystery film.
Are you also choosing to refuse to call them Knives Out
correct.
Mysteries?
Yes,
in
I
solidarity
am.
with
Woo!
Ryan Johnson because he hates that also.
Oh, he doesn't.
He hates having the Knives Out subtitle.
So this is a studio thing.
It's a studio. It's a Netflix thing.
Oh my gosh!
Because Knives Out is a recognizable movie. It was very popular when it came out. And the trend, the thing that like classic history authors do, where they're they have the same mystery, the same detective, but completely different titles, it scares them today because they don't think they're going to get returning viewers because it's a different title. So yes, it's not Wake Up Dead Man, it's Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery,
and Glass Onion,
Glass Onion, a
but
Knives Out mystery.
Why not a Benoit Blanc mystery?
That's a name that you might not remember from the movie. Knives
If
Out.
you don't remember,
They don't advertise Benoit Blanc. They advertise Knives Out.
But okay.
I'm just
you
saying
agree.
it's
So
the lowest common denominator is what it is.
Yes.
The first thing that people remember is Knives Out. It's a memorable name. And it had Captain America in it right around when he was extremely popular. So it sticks in people's minds. And so now everything is a Knives Out mystery.
And he had the quote that it felt good to be a villain again. And ever since then, he's pretty much been a jerk in everything that he's been in.
Oh, I guess so.
Sometimes I wonder if that's actually if Chris Evans is a spectacular actor as Captain America.
He's going against his own personal character.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Wake Up Dead Man, the new Benoit Blanc mystery. We're going to call it that. And we're going to talk about because it was, from a theological standpoint, extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Like I knew what the themes were. I did not expect it to be this. And then you texted me saying, hey, are you able to watch this? Because we need to talk about it. And I was like, oh, yeah. So we watched it last night. Just specifically watched it last night to be able to talk about it today.
Right.
And we're going to talk about kind of the themes that it has throughout of the church and Jesus and theology and all these things. But before we get there, spoiler-free review? Quick little review, spoiler-free?
Yeah. So I was going to say exactly that.
Yeah.
So a spoiler-free quick review for me is that I thought this movie was spectacular. It was so good that my wife and we started it at it's 11 o'clock at night.
It's a 2.5 hour long movie.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We're not ready to go to bed yet. We're finishing some projects. Let's start this and just turn it off 45 minutes in. My wife refused to turn it off. And we stayed up till 1:30 in the morning watching the
you texted me about it at 12:15 a.m.
Yeah, yes. And
I was dead asleep.
She was hooked. I told her okay, now's about the time. This is a real good break. Act 1 is over here. The things she's like, no,
you shut your mouth.
No, yeah. So we watched the entire film.
All of a sudden,
night.
has a Louisiana accent.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't perfect. The mystery itself might be the least good part of it, but that's
it was interesting. Yes, I would say I'd agree with that. I'd say it was a solidly fine, entertaining movie.
Yeah.
What elevated it for me was the setting and the theme and the main. I mean, there's lots of main characters, but the main priest in it, and Father Judd, was really a really great character.
People delivered spectacular performances as well. Like Mila Kunis was the only one that I thought brought in a A- performance.
Well,
she wasn't even the most important.
Was functional.
Character.
Was functional.
Yeah,
more than,
absolutely.
More than character.
And again, I'm not saying she did a bad job. She did a great job.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was just fine. Everyone else crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
No, it was pretty cool. I really love the setting.
Beautiful setting. Yes.
It was pretty good. I mean, I think he hasn't topped Knives Out yet, but as far as the mysteries the Benoit Blanc mysteries, but
I like this more, but I think it's bias.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
it's hard to get over that because anything is elevated when it's even if it's a bad movie, but it's got religious or spiritual themes. I'm like, this is at least interesting to me because I can either say that was terrible and how they did that, or that was an interesting take, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And this definitely is in the latter for me. So
Cool.
So yeah, it's worth watching. Definitely go watch it. You don't have to have seen any of the other Benoit Blanc mysteries.
Well, speaking of lowest common denominator, people want numbers. What do you rate it, man?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
It was a solid 9 for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was fine.
Outstanding. Yeah.
To be fair, we have different scales. I try to keep a 5 a true average, and nowadays 5 is garbage. So
Yeah, for me, 6.5
I'm
is
saying
average.
7.5 because I think it was perfectly fine.
That's hilarious because you say a 5 is average. I'm saying a 6.5 is average. I'm exactly 1.5 above your 7.5 rating.
Whoa! Hey, you can't say we're not consistent, folks.
Right.
You heard it here.
Okay, so hey, that's your real quick spoiler-free
That's the spoiler-free.
review.
We are going to get into
After
spoilers
that, yeah, we're going to
of
talk
this
about
movie.
a lot of
so
spoilers
you should
here.
stop and go watch it first. It's a literal mystery. It's more fun to watch if you don't know what's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's worth every second of watching it.
Yeah.
If it's worth your $15 of a month of Netflix or whatever it is, these $8 of a month of Netflix to watch
the
it.
cheapest tier. Yeah, it's worth it.
All right. So let's start out with, because the title of this is Indictment of the Church and Elevation of Christ.
Yes.
So why don't we start out with that indictment of the church side of this, where it focuses directly on I was about to say subculture, but it is honestly kind of the popular culture of evangelicalism right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Catholic church.
Yes.
But it falls right into that, I guess, pop culture criticism of the evangelical church. I think it falls right in line. I mean, it's also of the Catholic Church.
Right.
You know, let's do a brief plot synopsis.
So,
not like all the spoilers, but just
Right,
what is happening here.
So there is a church, and there is the Monsignor of that church.
Specifically the Monsignor.
Specifically Monsignor, yes. Of that church is a very bombastic, fiery, but also prejudiced, hardline.
Explicitly right-wing politics.
Explicitly right-wing Christian nationalist type preacher, but he leads a very small flock.
Yeah.
And this is because whenever somebody new comes in, he basically singles them out and
he will call them out for whatever sin he perceives, at the very least perceives them to have,
right,
until they leave,
and literally stare at them and talk about that sin while he preaches,
and he counts it as a win because it everybody else in the congregation will decide to stay and they choose a side implicitly.
Right.
That's kind of the actual plot of the movie. Is a younger priest, mid-20s, is reassigned from where he was because he punched a deacon.
Yes.
He is reassigned to this new parish, this new church, with basically the explicit premise of, hey, maybe you can do some good there.
Right.
And he is portrayed as a man who is, as they put it in the movie, arms open, not fists up.
Right.
He's an old he used to be a boxer. There's other stuff that goes on, and he's trying to escape this idea of violence or fighting or warrior like nature.
Right.
To more of an arms open, welcome people like Jesus did.
Yes.
And so he's reassigned to this hardline pastor, to this church with this hardline pastor, with this core group of I was going to say constituents, but congregants that are undyingly loyal, essentially, when he arrives. And you are introduced to these different what's the word I'm looking for? I just said it.
Constituents?
Not constituents. The congregation.
Congregants.
Congregants. Yes.
There you go. I was going to correct you. I'm like,
how could I
constituents is
remember a thing
political
I said
like...
7 seconds ago? It's ridiculous. You're introduced to these people. They all have their different motivations. All have their reasons why they are a part of this church. I would say that they all kind of represent different strata of people who are religiously fanatic.
Yes.
There is somebody who is, I'm trying to escape the liberal woke mind virus, so I'm a part of this. That guy, he's very funny.
He literally builds a moat around his house.
Literally builds a moat. It's mostly symbolic, but
yes,
yeah. There's a person who was an artist, was a musician, but due to a disease that has caused her nerve constant pain, basically is hoping for a miracle,
right,
that the pastor can provide to heal her. There's the super devout, basically the actual person that does all the work of the church is Martha. She's in there. Not pretty on the nose name, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have all these. That's not everybody, but you have all these various members. And so the plot of the movie is this new pastor showing up and essentially trying to enact change. And then the pastor, the hardline guy, dies. Apparently dies.
Right.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
it obviously you got your twists and turns, and the bulk of the movie is Benoit Blanc, this famous, very famous detective coming in and solving the murder, helping to solve the murder with the help, and you got your twists and turns on the way. So anyway, that's the setting.
We're bad at synopses, so let's just one more time. A young priest is sent to a congregation that is fading because the preacher is very domineering.
It's intentionally fading, yes.
Yeah, intentionally cruel sometimes. They have a lot of conflict, the two priests, and the older priest ends up being murdered in a seemingly impossible fashion.
The younger priest is heavily suspected.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
okay.
Benoit Blanc is there to solve the mystery.
Right. So that's the plot of the movie.
We did it.
Thematically, it's actually pretty wild for a big budget mainstream movie.
This is the most Christian movie I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, if we're going to say a movie can be Christian, which I don't think that's a thing, but if we're going to say a movie can be Christian, this is pretty dang close.
Right, yes.
Because it does portray, I would say, the message of Jesus as the right thing, as the correct way to live. The success, the happy ending, so to speak, is a person wanting to look forward and move forward in the ways of Jesus.
Yes.
And I don't know the last time I've seen that really happen in a movie that wasn't explicitly supposed to be what we might call a propaganda-esque. Angel Studios, something like that. Yeah.
You and I, in our old podcast, if you guys want to go look up the Nitty Gritty, did an episode called the Christian Bechtel Test, where
true.
We specifically talked
about that.
How much Christianity is portrayed in popular media as cruel, and that Christians are cruel almost exclusively, all based on Rainn Wilson's tweet of saying the moment that the guy in Last of Us Part 1 had a Bible, he knew he was going to be a villain because he knows that there is a bias against Christianity in
it's at least a
media.
dog whistle. Yeah.
Right. And so all this to say that this bucks that trend in a huge way.
Heavily bucks that trend. It was extremely refreshing to have this guy not just be a good man who is trying to do the good thing, but also be a real human who messes up. Like, legitimately does several things throughout it where it's just clearly an impulse and he didn't want to, and then apologizes. Repents.
Yeah.
Asks forgiveness. Isn't even sure at one point, spoilers, remember, at one point believes himself to be somebody he thought he murdered a guy. And he walked into the police station.
And Benoit Blanc basically
it's
kidnaps
a very
him.
funny moment because nobody actually notices him. And then Benoit Blanc just
Nope.
Ushers him back into his car, and he just gets lucky right there. It's very funny.
It was really good.
And so throughout this movie, you have moments. I turned to Faith after we were done watching it, and I was like, one of my favorite parts of the movie was how often Father Judd is the young priest. Often uses terminology and things like phrases that you would hear in the church. And if you are not in the church, you might not really know exactly what's being talked about. So there's, at the core of all of this, there's an inheritance. There's a diamond, basically, that is hoping to be found. It all comes back to
Eve's apple.
This wealth. Eve's apple, yes. It represents greed and sin. And at the very end of the movie, you have somebody who is just angry that he thinks Father Judd knows where this diamond is and needs to give it back right now. And then Father Judd just kind of looks at him and says, I hope you come back to the church. Your true inheritance is in Christ.
Oh,
and it was
good.
mind-blowing that would be said in a movie like this. Movies can be made. I'm not trying to say, I don't think the idea of Hollywood's trying to destroy Christianity is a thing. I don't really go into that thing. I think they just chase
it's just
money.
An easy trope.
They chase money. That's what they're chasing.
And it's an easy trope.
Yes, sure. But it was mind-blowing that specific of a phrase would be used, because you can get the idea of what he's saying if you're not versed in scripture. But the idea that you are a co-inheritor of God, of the kingdom of God with Christ, being a thing in this movie.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so good.
Okay, but we're rambling
yes,
again.
we are rambling again
Yes,
because
so
there's a lot of things I could talk
There's
about like
so
that.
many things that we want to say. We're excited about this.
Yes, we
We're
are
really
excited about this
yes.
movie.
So,
Let's get back to your original premise from 4,000 years ago.
the indictment of the church.
Yes.
So a huge part of what this film is saying is pointing fingers at almost, I mean, I just finished re-listening to The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill again a second time.
I listened to it again late last year.
And it almost looked like it, excuse me, was a copy and paste of a lot of what was going on.
There's probably some
there.
inspiration going on.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So there is this domineering priest
Yes.
who specifically wants to use his platform to elevate himself, for one, and lord himself, lord his power over others.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have power, and he's specifically using this to make other people feel less of them. He's a bully, I guess was the
To
easiest
put
way
it
to
very
quote.
simple
Yeah.
terminology, he's a bully.
He's
yes.
a bully. And so we have this other character, Sai, who wants to be a political person. He just lost his run for mayor or something
His
that.
political career was cut short, so to speak.
Right.
And he goes on this monologue of like, I hammered everything: gender, race, all these things that
vaccines, masks.
and I don't get it. People are numb. I don't know why. Is a great line.
Oh my! It was again delivered perfectly.
Yes,
because he has zero emotion while saying
Zero
all
emotion.
of these things.
It's all a means to an end, and zero self-awareness of what is making people numb is exactly this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So there's this other character, Sai, who comes in and is saying, "You can be huge.
Yes.
You can be famous. You can be great. Just let me record everything you're doing and post it."
Right.
And
on the
it very
internet,
much-
it's a wildfire.
Yeah, exactly. And so it becomes this whole thing of, okay, how can we take Father Judd's cruelty and market it as something great? And that is precisely what is happening in so many Christian spaces right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we try not to point any specific fingers right now because we're not supposed to get too political or anything like that. But let's just say that a lot of Christian spaces are taking very cruel quotes, very cruel actions of people in power and lauding these as incredible things.
Pointing to them as examples of Christianity taking the nation back.
Yes.
And that being a good thing.
Correct.
Through various means that could be considered anti-gospel, I would say.
And yeah.
To put it mildly.
And they say exactly this. They talk about, one of my favorite scenes is a literal fight that happens between the two priests.
Yes.
And Father Judd is saying, we need to bring love and compassion back. We need to show the heart of Christ here, and we need to let these people know that they are loved and they are seen, and that they can have repentance and all this other stuff. Like he's going into the gospel, like the legitimate gospel. And Father Judd, or Monsignor Wicks, gets up and just starts beating him up.
Literally starts punching him.
Yes, shoves him on the ground, starts kicking him on the ground, and so Father Judd gets up and just puts his fists up to defend himself. And Monsignor Wicks's point is there. Right there, you were under attack, and now you have dukes up, ready to defend yourself. That's the posture we should be in right now.
Yeah.
That's the posture Christianity should be in right now. It is under attack. We should be fighting back. We should be, violent and harsh in our way of doing it. And it was this exact definition of the posture of some people. And I understand that there are people out there that genuinely feel this is true.
Yes.
And that when you are in a place of being threatened, we have a fight or flight response, and sometimes we fight back.
Right.
I understand that people feel that way sometimes, but the reality of the matter is that's never. Jesus literally said to turn the other cheek.
Right. I also don't want to. I can there to a certain degree. I can understand the idea of look at the culture and how it's changing. Look at what it used to be, or at least perceive it to have used to have been. Wouldn't it be better if it was like that again?
Man,
your perception can be different than reality. Let's just say that.
I just want to say, as a person of color, whenever somebody says that, I always want to ask, when is
back
this
to
time?
the good old days.
When is this good old days that you're talking about?
1952
Because hold on here a second. Like the real simple one that I bring up every time is, if we're going back to your good old days, I would not be allowed to be married to my wife. It's just as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
My kids would be illegal. Yeah.
So your wife probably wants to go back to that.
Yeah, she the good old days.
I regret everything.
Right?
Anyway,
Fox's mic is falling over.
It's falling over.
Twist the base so that the leg is in line with the.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Good podcasting.
Yes. There we go.
Should be better.
This is the first time we've ever done this on video. We podcasted a lot, but we're not used to having.
Anyway,
video,
so I do want to point out, like, I can understand the impulse to say I would like the culture I live in to look more like Jesus, and say then I have to whatever means necessary to get there.
Yeah.
Which it's not necessarily in the intent. It's in the execution. It's in the practical side of how are we supposed to look like Jesus? Is it to force people to look like something we think Jesus looked like? Or do we say turning the other cheek might mean we continue to be on the back foot? But that's what Jesus did. And so it's just this conflation of victory and submission and a power, what power looks like in reality, like in our culture versus what Jesus's power actually manifested as.
And here's the irony of it is, as he's giving this monologue, I turned to my wife and I said, his God is so weak.
Yes.
His God is so weak that he thinks his God needs him
to
save him.
Is a puny God that needs this guy.
Yeah, that needs Monsignor
that needs Josh
Wicks to save him.
Brolin.
That needs Thanos. Although Thanos was pretty strong, so maybe
he was. Maybe 1v1 me God. I'm Thanos.
So it's this perception that we have to save Christianity. But if you have a proper eschatology, meaning end times theology, if you have a proper eschatology, you know that God wins no matter what.
Right. The ending has been written.
Yes. God wins no matter what.
Right.
He doesn't need you to fight for him. He needs you to be like Jesus.
Right.
And so, where do we shift gears? Have anything else?
I mean, yes, it is this. I liked how it was portrayed. This idea of, I could see people seeing that and saying he has a point, though. You know, like that he was portrayed as a cruel person. I would hope that nobody would say, well, his methodology is right. But what he's saying, I can get on board with. But it does, I think, fairly accurately represent an American evangelicalism as far as like the broader culture goes, the broad strokes of evangelicalism's shift, as we've seen in the last decade or so.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's this fear of sin and mostly specific types of sin
and
things like that.
We can get into a lot of specifics like that.
And we don't need to, but
I do want to point out they often denigrated young women for sexual sin.
Right.
But it takes two to tango.
Part of it.
It takes two to tango, my friend.
So
he has an illegitimate child.
Right.
And he specifically calls out the woman that he chose to have relations with as loose. Never turns the mirror back on himself.
Right. That this is a huge actually part of the plot is that his mother was a promiscuous woman,
right.
Kind of the way she's described. They call her
the harlot
whore,
which I thought was pretty redundant, but also, that might be the point. They got it. They're trying to describe her as terribly as possible.
Right. And so, oh man, I talk about that. Rian Johnson's imagery is always on point, if not sometimes a little overdone, always very
on point in this, very on the nose this time.
But when the doors open to the church for the first time, light shines on
least subtle thing.
A light shines on a spot where a cross would be, but it was
hanging.
not there. Yeah. Yes, it is empty. And
instead
of Christ.
You see the shadow of Monsignor Wicks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so very, very well done.
Yeah.
But dang it, I lost my spot.
No,
before this.
So we want to shift now.
Yes.
The movie talks about, portrays the church as this bullying behemoth, essentially, of domineering over the culture, over the people that it's supposed to be serving. And then you have this young priest come in. And this young priest is very, very comfortable talking about his pretty rough past.
Yes.
He was a boxer. He accidentally killed a man in the ring. And then you learn he didn't just do it. It was an accident, but he did it with hatred in his heart.
Right.
He did it like he knew something had gone wrong and continued to punch this person.
Right.
And now he wants to, he considers himself to be saved by the grace of Jesus and wants to make sure that the people in the church recognize that that grace is also there for them.
Yes. There is another scene where he gathers the church, the congregants. There's like 6 people. That go to this
The
church
congregation
right now.
is literally about 5 or 6 people.
Yeah. So he gathers this group and he just says, hey, I just want to have a prayer group that
Yes.
we can feel like we can
Yes.
be open and to speak with each other.
Break down walls.
Yeah, to break down walls between each other. And their posture the whole time is, yeah, does Monsignor Wicks know about this?
Yes.
Has he approved this? Is he okay with this? And again, it just shows the difference between the power on one side and the open arms on the other side.
Right. The fear.
Yes, the fear of these people.
that is in these people of somebody they supposedly love.
So on the other side, we have Father Judd, as you're saying, and his entire posture to these people is you can be free of your fear. You can be free because a lot of their fear is like one guy is alone. His wife left him, took his daughter, and he feels broken and alone the whole time. Another guy just wants to be famous and he's trying so hard to be YouTube famous. Another woman is feeling very like pressured to take care of the other guy who wants to be famous.
Yep.
And she is feeling unsupported. She's a single mom and she's trying to raise this kid who's not even actually hers.
She's shouldering responsibilities that were not were not chosen.
Right.
They were given to her, put on her shoulders.
And another guy is just afraid of the whole world around him. He's
Yes.
so afraid of the world. And all these people are struggling with these things. Oh, and then there's the girl who wants a miracle, who wants healing from her pain.
Yes.
And
She wants deliverance from that.
yes, they are surrounded by all this hurt and struggle and pain. And Monsignor Wicks keeps telling them, come to me.
Yeah.
And I will, unburden you of these things. And it keeps failing over and over again. And Father Judd comes in and he's saying, we need to give this to Christ. And we need to accept him with open arms, accept each other with open arms. And we need to give these things to Jesus. And that's how we be free of these things. And they're so scared of Monsignor Wicks that they will not do it.
Yeah, it's man, the more we describe it, the more wild it is that this was the plot of this movie. That the plot was about the purity of Christ in a broken church.
Yeah.
It is something I want to scream every time I see another story about a priest who is, found to be molesting somebody, or insert thing here. A pastor said this.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously the internet's full of everybody. But message boards just talking about, well, what do you expect? It's the church. What do you expect? It's Christianity. That's what it is. And every time I want to say, no.
Yeah.
But in that perception, how do I argue against that? Like, if that's what's seen, and it's so refreshing to see this movie elevate Jesus.
Yes.
To specifically call out the point of Christianity is that Jesus is perfect and we are not. That our brokenness, the things we need in life, cannot happen if all we are doing is searching for them in other people, other human, regular humans, even the people that we put in these places of power, and we allow to domineer over us.
There is a point in which Benoit Blanc, we haven't talked about yet.
Yes.
I do want to talk about him
You know
later
what?
a little
That's
bit.
probably my most disappointing part of the movie to me was Benoit Blanc's arc, because he didn't have one.
No.
I was hoping there would be a little more there.
I mean, he's very much
There's something, it's not enough for me. But
when it becomes like Poirot and whatever, usually these guys are the tool that
they
is
are the
used to tell
vehicle for
story
which it's
around
told.
them.
I would have liked a little bit more from him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Where Benoit Blanc and Father Judd are, they have started, the game's afoot, as Sherlock would say. They've started their investigation. Thank you. Their investigation. They're studying. They're looking into things, whatever else. And they're getting in deeper and deeper. And at one point, something happens that causes Father Judd to go, "What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I? I'm not a detective.
This isn't me.
Yeah, this isn't me. I'm a pastor. I've lost my way. I've lost my guidance, and I need to get back to what I really came here for, and that is Jesus."
Right.
He goes on this huge tirade about how his purpose is serving Christ and nothing else. And it really is this moment that that a lot of pastors have where they could continue to follow line X and get everything they've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Or they could continue to serve Christ.
Or even not even personally, but say my church would be benefited by
Right.
X, Y, and Z. I have to pander to this person who pays the bills, and therefore that's what my job is right now.
Right.
When in reality, it is not.
And he stops and he says, I am here to serve Christ, to the point that he's like, if I end up in prison for it, okay.
Right.
Whatever, man. That's not the point. The point
Right.
is that I am serving Jesus and that I am here for him and him alone. And he literally walks away from
Literally
Benoit Blanc.
walks away. There's a great scene, maybe one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where they are basically looking for the diamond that we mentioned earlier.
Right.
And there's a thing that's like says Eve's apple on it. Even when it was called out, everybody in the audience, including, myself included, was like, obviously it's in there.
Right.
And it technically was at one point, but not anymore. And they
Yeah.
smash it open to try to find it, including a figure of Jesus that's in there. They break open because it's hollow. And he's like desperately calling this person to find out who.
Oh my God.
Desperately calling this person who at a what is it, like a construction equipment company.
Right. He's looking for clues.
They need information, whatever. And he's desperate, and he's trying to rush through this conversation, and all of a sudden this other person just says, actually, while I have you here, could you pray for me?
Yeah.
And it's just like you could see that he's like cut to the core. Because the person he's talking to, their mom's in or is suffering from like dementia, and it's just a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And then like you can see like this is what causes him to realize, oh right. He like looks at this broken Jesus figurine and is on this phone with this person who is in a terrible situation. And after that, Benoit Blanc just kind of sitting around for a couple hours, it feels
like it was
because he's just waiting for this stuff to get over with so they can continue the mystery. And
it's a hard cut from them standing in the room with the sunlight to Benoit Blanc alone in the room at night.
The sun is a heavy, a big theme in this.
Really
it's a big, big motif of light and darkness.
And so Benoit Blanc finally exits this room after losing his patients, after who knows how long.
Yeah.
And Father Jed is there praying with this woman over the phone.
Yeah, genuinely praying with somebody.
Yes, and then afterward says, you have my phone number now. Call me anytime.
Yeah.
Literally anytime.
Yes. So it was wonderful to see how it demonstrated how we can lose our way. You and I have both been involved in ministry, and it's pretty easy to forget what your purpose is, why you're doing what you're doing, even if you get bogged down in the minutia of what you're doing, or, it can happen in sometimes where ego can come in. This happens to pastors. Ego can come in. We say, well, if we justify things by saying, well, we'll reach more people if we do this, or maybe this event will do it. And those aren't always inherently bad, but they can be insidious in that they get us away from what we have been called to do. And it was a really fun movie to portray that in, because the movie is a mystery. Like, it's not about the actual plot is not about the church. It's about a person who got killed, and they're trying to figure out what happened. But it was really fast. I was really wondering, is Rian Johnson actually, like, is he a Christian? Is this something he is concerned about?
Because it sure seems like it, man. Like,
right.
I feel that way about Jim Butcher sometimes too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but
because I would also say that this mystery series has had a theme. Like, the theme of these Benoit Blanc mysteries is like institutional power. You have in the first one generational wealth.
Yes.
This family, this terrible family, who is all just fighting each other because they want the money that their grandpa had.
Right.
And then you have Ana de Armas' character, who is just part of there and genuinely being helpful and a good person, who then, comes. Then you have in the second one just billionaires and the just inherent like problem of having that much money, of just like that much money invites being a problematic like person to a certain extent.
Right. Feeling that
you deserve it because you already have it and things like that. And now we're talking about the like church as an institution versus the pure religion. And so part of me is thinking, is that just like, that's his theme? Is the next one going to be about politics? Are we going to see something, somebody
right.
get murdered in a state senate or something like that? Where like that'd be fun. That would be interesting. Maybe we get to it's in Louisiana. We get to learn more about Benoit Blanc because it's close to his home. I'd like that. So as part of me, I was like, okay, he's just continuing. But the depth to which it goes on these themes and the vulnerability that's portrayed
Oh my gosh.
in the church and by its congregants. Because none of these congregants really should be villainized.
Right.
You can see where they're coming from and what has happened to them.
Absolutely, especially when their spiritual leader is feeding them.
Exactly. And so it made me wonder throughout the movie of who is Rian Johnson? Like, what is this his whole deal? And I love it. Like, I love that this was something like it feels like a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a Trojan horse of a movie to me.
Yeah.
We tricked you. We got 3 movies into this series, and now we're going to talk about the church, but not as pure villain, evil empire, but as just a misguided part of humanity. And so, man, is the more I could talk about it for a long time and go scene by scene, but
well, there's 2 more things I want to talk about.
Yes,
really, because like first of all, is the ultimate scene is the confession. That is a literal confession.
It's a literal confession at the altar of Christ.
So again, massive spoilers. We already said a ton of times, but like Benoit Blanc has the answer, and everybody's there to watch.
Yes,
and he basically stops and says, "Never mind.
I don't know.
I don't know."
And it's very clear that he's just like lying.
Right. And so everybody walks out. And then Mila Kunis, the sheriff, is like, what is happening right now? What are you doing? Now? And he says, I wanted to give somebody a chance. And then as that's happening, the actual murderer comes in and he's like, to confess. And, instead of being forced to choose to. And she comes forward and kneels down and gives confession to Father Judd.
To a priest. Yes, it's a literal, like, theological confession and also a confession of crimes.
Yes.
It's great.
And then at the end of this, she has poisoned herself and she's dying.
Yes.
And she is talking about grace.
Yeah.
It's because there was a character before this called Grace, but the allegory is not thick.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious.
Really obvious. She's talking about grace from Christ, and like grace is a huge part of these final moments as he then, because Catholic Church absolves her of her sins. Yeah.
As she dies.
Oh my gosh.
It works well. I would say the allegory is obviously very thin, but it works. It's fine. It works pretty well, I'd say.
Yes.
And that is where we see the most in Benoit Blanc's character shift, because he's 100% in on the mystery. He literally talks at the beginning of the movie about loving that checkmate scene where he gets to demonstrate that he has figured it out, because he says something like, I'm like immune to not being able to solve a murder or something like that. It's very funny. And then at this moment, light shines through a window, and he has, as he calls it, as a callback to a previous thing, a Damascus thing, Damascus Road
Scales
moment.
fell from his eyes.
Yes, and he decides the truth is going to come out either way. But it would be more meaningful if this person chooses to confess
than if I get my moment.
If I'm the one who gets the moment.
Well, it's the moment that we were talking about before, where you can choose to make it about you, or you can choose to make it about Christ. It was what we talked about before, but in this case, make it about others.
Yeah.
And he does. He makes that moment, gives that moment to make it about others. And again, it's a beautiful moment of literal confession, grace received in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, and he also says to Father Judd, do what you were born to do. Like, he starts the movie by saying they have this really great scene where he comes into the church for the first time and meets Father Judd, and Father Judd this is right after the murder, so he's in this moment, and they have this like pretty great dialogue between each other where they talk about, like, he just says, no, I'm not interested in this at all. Like, I'm here to solve a murder. Right. I'm farthest from believing this than you could possibly be. And he doesn't change his mind, it seems, about those things, but he is willing to accept that there is something important
about is important to people.
What is happening in the moment.
Absolutely.
And he gives Father Judd, he removes his skepticism to a certain extent in allowing Father Judd to do what he was called to do.
Yeah.
That he maybe recognizes what he was doing before was removing this calling from Father Judd by trying to force him into being a detective and not a pastor. And so then he says, be a pastor. And like it's this great final scene, and then Benoit Blanc just gets out of there.
Deuces.
Literally whistles, walking down the road, smoking a cigar or a cigarette or something.
The last thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up, we've rambled, but this might be our most rambly podcast.
It's
we've
fine.
ever done,
It's a good movie.
It's fine. It's
More like this.
You can tell that we're excited. We're genuinely excited about this film.
Yes, this is the kind of movie I wait for.
But Benoit Blanc, the entirety, you said he has no arc. I agree. Beginning to end, stout atheist. He even like God is a fiction is one of the things he says.
He
at
says
the very end.
he worships at the altar of rationality.
Right, which is
Nope, not the time. Another podcast.
But I do want to say that I wanted to debate with this man so hard.
1v1 me, Benoit Blanc.
I legit. I'm like, bring your feet to a real apologist, son. Let's do this right now. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
But Father Judd does not do that. Let me be clear. To become a father, to get that far in the Catholic Church, you are equally educated as I am.
You are learning a whole lot.
Right.
Yes.
Father Judd does not do that.
Yeah.
He then just kind of talks to him.
Yeah.
And gets to know him. Gets him to talk about his mom.
Right.
Gets him to just talk about what his experience with church has been and these types of things. And it's this incredible moment where after all this, Father Judd ends up in tears and Benoit Blanc's like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he says, I got to be a priest again.
I felt like a pastor.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've actually been able to do this for somebody, you know? And it kind of put me in my place of like, oh, right. Apologetics doesn't exist so we can put people in their place.
Right.
So we can draw people closer to Christ.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And, so just such a good moment.
It was filled with great moments. It's one that I would love to go through with a fine-tooth comb and talk about like theologically and what is being referenced and things like that.
Well, and there's so much thick allegory.
There's lots of little details about
the butterflies and the letters falling off the sign in the church. The church literally falling apart. Things like that. Like, there's a lot of things that are happen all throughout the film. It really is. Pay attention to every detail because there's so much going on.
At the beginning, there's graffiti on a crypt.
Rocket
they're cleaning
ships.
it. Yeah, there's rocket ships.
They put
that
rocket ships all over.
But the groundskeeper is literally whitewashing it.
Yes. It's whitewashing a tomb.
Literally whitewashing
a tomb. Like
there's lots of little things like that if you like, obviously you're not breaking the movie if you don't know about it, but it is fun little like moments.
Yes.
That are clear. Like if it were a Star Wars movie, we'd call it references to lore. Which I guess technically it is. Yeah. I mean, it's the lore.
It's not lore.
The backstory of this movie is kind of the Bible.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a spectacular film. We've rambled a lot because of how excited we are about it. But
let's get on to watch this movie and then let us know what you thought about it.
Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah.
But first, real quick, I want to tell you yet another real quick story here that I was telling Fox earlier that I've been having trouble sleeping lately. And it's an anxiety thing where like I have an anxiety disorder and sometimes for no reason at all, it just kicks up and I'll start to struggle to sleep. And I've been talking about this with another group of friends that I have and chatting about it back and forth a lot. And for whatever reason, I don't know why it hit me at that moment that this group of friends that I'm having this conversation with are all fervent, stout believers. And only one of them goes to my church. The rest of them go to other churches. We met through an organization our sons were part of years ago. We don't go to the same church. These guys are here praying for me. And it hits me that the only reason that me and these guys are still friends is because we game together. We love board games. All of us do. And we regularly get together to play board games. By regular, I mean like periodically, like about once every other month-ish, we get together and we get to play board games together. We have a great time. We have a lot of fun together. And that is sort of the foundation of the reason why we're able to stick together. Like, obviously, our foundation of friendship is in Christ, but we all have our own churches. We have friends at those churches. We all go to our own churches. Only one of them goes to the same church as me, though. We stick together because of gaming. And yet, these are some of my closest friends that have been praying for me and have been here for me through just... I had a great night's sleep last night, finally, for the first time in a long time, but through a lot of like just rough sleep. And it was an incredible moment to remind me just how wonderful games can be to keep a community together. So With that being said, if you are looking for a community of people to be gaming with, if you're looking for a community of people to also be there to support you and be there with you when you're having trouble sleeping, or if your mom has dementia, or if whatever else is going on in your life, if you're in a situation where you just want to be surrounded with people who love you and want to support you in the love of Christ, but are also going to play board games with you every other month or whatever else, SavePoint Ministries is here for you. We want nothing more than to be able to find a church in your area that will love you with the heart of Christ and that will game with you, that will share your nerdy hobbies, that will watch anime with you, that'll watch Wake Up Dead Men with you and nerd out about all the, the cool things about it. We want that type of community for you. If that is interesting to you and you do not already have a home church, go to SavePointMinistries.com. You can figure out a way to plug in there, or you can find our Discord via our website as well. And in our Discord, there is a way to be able to find a local church in your area. We help you step by step through the whole way. It's a very easy, if not a little time consuming, but not for you, for me. A real simple process for you to go through and be able to find a church in your area. So if that's interesting for you, SavePointMinistries.com. All right, Fox, what are you up to lately, my friend?
Well, few things. I've been kind of wanting to finish a couple of games before the end of the year, so I haven't really been playing new games. But we did finish X-Files.
Ooh.
Well, finish is a word you could use. We got to the end of season 8 of X-Files. If you don't know about X-Files, Mulder and Scully, obviously the two main characters. With season 8, Mulder kind of falls out of the show for at least more than half of it. He's in the last 5 or 6 episodes. And then in season 9, neither of them are in it, really. It just switches.
That's weird.
Both characters are in the show already, and John Doggett is has been in there a whole season. He's a cool character too.
Yeah.
But neither of them are main characters anymore, except for a couple, and then the finale. But
they
it
get
really
married and just sort of live on the together.
Mulder and Scully.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
And go to the moon.
At the end, they fully realize they are the aliens the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much. I can't get into it, but kind of. At the end of season 8, though, this is spoilers for X-Files. It's still worth watching. You should watch X-Files. It's a great show. It was pretty disappointing to get to that point. It's from a time where you had 20-plus episode seasons. You did not plan, really, for a succinct show. You just kept going as long as you could, and the show suffered because of it. Other shows do this, too. The Office did it. Things like that, where it just keeps going, and so if you have an overarching plot, you're just trying to keep the content, and then so if you have some intricate plot like X-Files, it just falls apart pretty quickly. So anyway, we finished season 8, and we've decided that's where we're going to be done. Eventually we'll watch there was another movie and then a revival series or whatever with Mulder and Scully. We'll probably watch that eventually, but we're going to be done for now. And it was really marred by sticking to the end of season 8. Although it does end on the happiest note. They finally, spoilers, they do kiss. Without any pretense, they kiss several times throughout the show.
Without any pretense?
What I'm saying is
they just see each other and they're like, kiss.
They kiss several times throughout the show. There's always a reason why.
Oh, I see what you mean.
There's always it was actually a clone or something like that, or whatever. They kiss at one point because it's New Year's Eve. And the ball drops, and then he kisses her, and he's like, look, the world didn't end. But it was a reference to a doomsday cult in the episode. It's the whole thing. But Scully gives birth to a baby in this one. She's pregnant throughout the last of season 8. She gives birth. It's a healthy boy. He shows up at their house. The last season is him being like, I'm glad we're here, but we finally haven't, acknowledged the actual simple truth that we haven't been able to acknowledge this whole time. And he kisses her, and end of show. Black screen. There's another season after that. I'm not going to watch that.
What?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, show? You think I'm going to keep watching a show that doesn't even have these characters in it anymore?
That's like Scrubs season 9.
Exactly
type of thing,
like Scrubs, the end of Scrubs, where it's no, that was clearly, it should have been the finale.
Right.
But the network said we could make a few more bucks, and so let's do another piece of junk. Anyway, I loved X-Files. I will remember it very fondly for the goofiness, the skepticism, and the dynamic between Mulder and Scully. It just was just kind of fell apart toward the end.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Jackie and I have been watching, just caught up on The Mighty Nine, the new
Oh,
Critical
sure,
Role show
sure.
that has come out, and it's been really interesting, really cool. I looked it up and like found out some background things about it. The show Vox Machina is following the path of the campaign, following the storyline.
Okay.
Same things are happening. With Mighty Nine, they are following a very loose skeleton of their campaign, but expanding on the story, adding more side characters.
So it's like the
adding
same
more
plot?
story. What do you mean?
Oh, you're saying compared to the actual play. They're
Yes.
not the same plot, just different. Like
Yes,
okay.
correct. Yes, the Mighty Nine is campaign 2.
You're saying compared to the actual play is much more. Mighty Nine is a little more.
Is much more
loose.
Yeah, much more loose. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
I got
with
you
it,
now. I see.
And each episode is like 45 minutes long instead of the 22-minute ones of Vox Machina, and they're just allowing for a lot more breadth of storytelling instead of, because when you're following a D&D campaign, you are exclusively going to be following these characters everywhere all the time.
Right.
Because there's no point in the campaign when you're like, all right, everybody shut up. I'm gonna do some storytelling for a while.
There's another scene
you know?
over here that we're going to talk about now.
Right, exactly. So, but they are allowing for this in Mighty Nine, and it's made it really interesting and really cool. I don't know if that I'd say it's better than Vox Machina. I think they're equal, but it does make it very interesting, and it's a different way to be doing it. So it's really cool. We're enjoying that one.
Do you remember when Critical Role had that Kickstarter?
Over $10 million.
Yeah, and they were like, and then they got the money, and you like, because they're all online a lot, you could like actively see like, what do we do with this money? Like legitimately, like, what are we supposed to do right now? It was very funny.
They had this plan. Their Kickstarter was for one episode.
Exactly, like just like a fun idea.
Right, was for one episode, and then you know that they twirled their mustaches in the corner like, we know our fans. We know that they're going to give us at least 3 episodes. And they planned for 3 episodes, and then
destroyed all of their stretch goals.
Yeah, and they were like, wait, what? Hold on. Wait, slow down.
I guess this is what we do now.
Yeah. They got $10 million. They decided to make an entire season. Then they got picked up by Amazon.
Right, Amazon picked it up, and
now they've got 2 whole
there,
series.
So.
This is literally is kind of what they do.
It's
now.
crazy.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, where have you seen God in all of this, Fox, recently?
So we have started for a couple months now doing a weekly movie night with my son. We don't do a lot of screen time with him, but we do as a family every Friday night watch a movie. And Faith, my wife, also made my son a Advent conspiracy calendar, which is like an Advent calendar, but it's specifically for Advent conspiracy, which is a way of looking at the Aliens. I talked about it actually when I preached on Sunday. I made a point to talk about like conspiracy is a fun word because it's about a bunch of weirdos usually. And then at the end, I was like, now we get to be the weirdos. Yes. Is a pretty good sermon if I do say so myself. Anyway, so each calendar day on it has a thing he can do for others. Like specifically, it's Advent, but it's Advent conspiracy, which is trying to recognize what Christmas is, and not the commercialized version that we have. And so, but some of them are still just fun. So one of them was specifically watch a Christmas movie, and we were talking. I was like, I like Elf, but there is not a lot of Christmas movies that I'm like, I don't really care. I don't really I don't enjoy watching the old stop motion ones. I know you're much more into the Christmas general. Like, really?
It's not that I like or dislike.
You just don't care. Yeah. No, I don't. Christmas movies are not really my thing. So we were like, well, we don't want to like spend money on something that neither of us are going to care about, and he'll probably like to watch anything. So we realized that there's a movie called The Star. Yeah, which I was a little skeptical of because Christian movie, blah blah blah. But the point of I don't know if you haven't seen it, I had never heard of it even before this. The point of The Star is it's the nativity story, but from the perspective of the animals that are involved, a donkey and a sheep, and that all wind up in the main, like in the with the main near the manger, and it was pretty good. Like I really enjoyed it, but what I mostly enjoyed, like getting to share that story. It was what I loved about it was getting to share the story with my 4-year-old son in a way that's not simply me regurgitating a story to him.
Yeah,
I can tell him the story of the nativity, the birth narrative. I can tell him that. I can make it fun, kind of, but largely it's pretty dry, so to speak, entertainment-wise, biblically. And I also don't like a lot of like other ways that it's shown. The Star really portrays it in a culturally decent way. And so it was fun to sit and watch and learn, like, relive the narrative tale. For both of us, it was kind of a new thing because it was different for me. And so it was just fun. It was a worshipful experience as well as getting to sit and watch a movie. So I really enjoyed doing that.
That's cool.
Because we actually afterward got to talk about like that story and do you know who that baby is. And,
Man, I love that. Those are good moments. Those are really good moments.
Right.
I've been playing a game called Death Howl. This is a game that is like, as its advertisement, it says that it is a deck builder Souls-like.
Yeah, it also says Steve. It's catnip for Steve.
Hey Steve,
it's a trap for Steve. You could put those words over a spike pit, and you would fall right into it.
It just needs the word roguelike, and I'd leave my wife for it, man. But this game is, I mean, the Souls-like deck builder is fun. It's really good. The game itself is fun. It's a good game. Everybody should try it. Well,
okay, sure.
It's a big think game. Big think game.
Oh,
but
no, thank you.
That's not what I want to talk about.
I want to shoot the guns.
Yeah. I want to talk about the actual story is about a mother whose son has died, and she has gone into the spirit world to retrieve his spirit and bring it back.
Okay.
And as she's going through, she's being encountered by all of these other spirits that are saying, this is your fault. You did this. You killed him. You know, all this other stuff. And you're getting more and more of the story going on. And I think I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I think I'm piecing it together now.
It sounds a little more direct than Dark Souls.
Yeah, a little.
It's hard not to be.
And as there is a narrative that makes sense.
There is a narrative you can follow without Vachividya.
But overall, you are seeing this woman's deep and honest grief. And as a mother, as a caretaker, family is a huge theme throughout all of this game. And throughout it all, I can't help but continually just be thinking to myself of, man, if God existed in this world, if in this, fictional world of Death Howl, just how much more comforting it would be to just know, hey, but your son is with me now. And, like if they were believers,
right.
Your son's with me now,
right.
And you're going to meet again and it's going to be okay. You don't have to go into 6 or 10 different spiritual worlds fighting things.
Don't worry about these collectible cards.
Yeah. All these types of crazy things going on. And like every step you're taking is taking you deeper into this woman's grief. And I'm reminded over and over again of the way that Paul talks about, like, do not weep for those who have gone asleep, like those who do not believe. And it's, talking about, man, for her, this is undoing her. And I don't want to, trivialize a mother's grief.
Sure.
But I am saying that there is hope in Christ.
Right.
That clearly this, whole fiction just doesn't understand here. And that it's been like a big thing going through my brain throughout the lot of it is just understanding, like, man, death is different for people who don't have Christ. Like, death is legit just different for them. So yeah, it's been really, really cool to be playing this game and thinking about it that way. So
sounds cool.
All right. Well, hey guys, let us know what you think about Wake Up Dead Man and the whole story and theming going on in there. Let us know what you think about games you've been playing, things you've been up to, what you've been watching, and let us know what has brought you to worship in pop culture lately. We always love to hear those types of stories. We want to thank
the whole list of people.
Right. I mean, we want to thank my mom for
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
She's pretty No, the music mechanic. That was what I was gonna say. It's his name is very similar to a game I played a long time ago called The Music Machine.
Yeah, I remember that.
That it's the game that I realized that I was getting motion sick from first person shooters, so it's like stuck in my brain. Anyway, but The Music Machine. No, I just did it. The Music Mechanic.
We want to thank The Music Mechanic for creating the theme song, the intro and outro, and all that for our podcast. Really appreciate all the work you did.
Thank you to Love Thy Nerd
for real jam.
Yeah. Thank you, Love Thy Nerd, for letting us be part of their podcast network. You can check out a lot of their other stuff going on as well. We don't have an outro, though, still.
Well, thanks again for listening to Jesus' favorite podcast.
Oh, that's right, we do. What is wrong with me today?
I don't know. Man? How can you not remember that this is objectively Jesus' favorite podcast? He told me.
He told
Did I not
me.
send you? I thought it was a group
This
text.
this is the divine conspiracy that Jesus told Fox that this is
Yes,
his
that
favorite
Dallas
podcast.
Willard book,
Yeah.
The Divine Conspiracy. Jesus told me.
No,
This is messy.
I'm not braining today.
I'm so glad we
guys.
have an editor now.
I know. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you guys
listening,
later.
everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Saving Continue is made by SavePoint Ministries and is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. It is produced and edited by Steve Valdez and Radio Matt Coker. Intro and outro music are done by The Music Mechanic. A special thank you to the Glue Network for their support. For more faith-based and nerd-friendly podcasts, go to lovethynerd.com/listen.